Are you going to start it now or no? You going to let me talk? Are we live? We're live. Well, since we're live, I am so glad we made the decision to make the move to Europe, to Portugal, before the next election because I was really
Look, the
not
plan
feeling it.
was to move in 2025. That was the plan. And you said, we got to get out of here before the next election. And I'm so glad that I listened.
So we want to give you something, just food for thought. Check this out.
Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and retiring abroad as we build generational wealth. So what are we going to talk about today?
Oh, God, reasons to leave and hopefully places to go.
Right. But first, if you are new to our channel, then you might not know about 7 years ago, 7.5 years ago, Rick and I got a wake-up call. We were getting really close to retirement age, and we looked at our money, and it looked crazy. And with Congress trying to raise, right, the retirement age, it's more important than ever to get your money straight. So about 3.5 years ago, we got our financial act together, and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please hit that notification bell so that you know every single time we drop a new video. Subscribe.
Yes, please.
We know that over half of you who are watching our videos are not even subscribed. So subscribe and then hit that like button if you like what we are talking about today. Yeah. All right. So here's the deal, guys. We're going to give you at the end, stick around to the end because we're going to give you some places to go that it's easy and less expensive to get a digital nomad visa as well as a retirement visa. But first, if you think that, oh, what, this is just another election, this is business as usual, I beg to differ.
Think again.
Things go in cycles. I'm going to fix this a little bit. Things go in cycles. And the bottom line is that it was about 100 years ago that we had the last repositioning of power when it comes to Western civilization and Western, look, we know what that is, right? And so we know that things go in cycle. We know that if we don't learn from history, then we're doomed to repeat it. It was 100 years ago that we had the last kind of seismic shift, right before the Great Depression, right before very authoritative governments came into power. And there was a shift in power on the globe. There is no surprise that we just got over a great recession, a mini recession, and now we have high inflation in the United States. Moreover, we've got things always brewing in the Middle East, right? And we have a current president that a lot of folks do not have a lot of confidence in,
Hmm.
right? And so polls show that on the other side, number 45 is in the lead.
Yeah.
How many indictments does it take to bring a man down? Like, I've never seen this type of Teflon before in my life.
People don't care. They don't care. All they want to do is, some folks just want to be on top of and pushing everybody else down and stay on top. It's our country and nobody else's country. And, no one has a say so but us. So, and that was proven on January 6th, 2021.
You're absolutely right. I also think that there has been a deliberate dumbing down of America.
Oh, I
I
agree.
think that the majority of folks are undereducated, and you wouldn't know that to look at graduation rates or the amount of bachelor's degrees. But we know that there is a serious lack of critical thinking in the United States that is going to be its downfall. And that's the truth. When you have people who are in elected positions saying things like, oh, you can't get pregnant from rape because there's rape kits.
Yeah.
I mean, or legislation should be guided by the church. What church? Whose church? I'm so tired of this separation of church and state. Basically, I'm so tired of the Constitution of the United States. These are Congress people saying these crazy things. And so if you think that this next election is business as usual, yeah.
Or how they always say, this woke thing, all of a sudden everybody's woke. What? We can't think? We can't think separately. We got to get rid of critical thinking. We can't think being woke.
It's really interesting how they adopt phrases and then reframe them in a negative light, right? And so we used to say you're woke if you had Black consciousness, if you had consciousness that the reality is that BIPOC folks in the United States do not get a fair shake. And so they have reversed that and said, if you take African American studies, then that's woke, what do you call it when you manipulate somebody into getting into a cult? Like, what's it called?
Brainwashing?
Yeah, brainwashing. There you go. So before we get into the reasons to leave and the things that you need to figure out before you move, let's say hi to the folks who are in the audience right now.
Can I make one more point before we
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So look at this again. Look at this tape again. Look at that video again when you get a chance. There's a reason there's a fairy tale song in the first part of it, and then chaos song in the middle of it, and then fairy tale at the end of it. And you'll get the idea of what's going on.
Let's just see. the fact of the matter is, you know, it's really crazy because we were talking about this earlier, and we saw that Michael Pence, Vice President Michael Pence at the time, was, you know, reading off the roll call of what the votes were for the individual states. And those folks were calling for the lynching of the Vice President of the United States. And I don't remember he nor the 45th president ever saying a word about this. How can you know that people were really looking for you to kill you? And you still gonna just go along with the program and act like ain't nothing wrong and our party's on the right side? Are you serious right now? These people have lost their minds. And if you think that everything's just going to go along as business as usual. I remember talking to someone the last couple of days and they're like, nobody wants to compromise. How can you compromise with insanity? How can you compromise with insanity if the mob is calling for the lynching of the person who is the vice president of the party that they say they represent? There is no compromise with that. There is no compromise with that.
None.
Right?
None.
And so the bottom line is we as African Americans and anybody who's from the BIPOC community, and even women as well, we have to be very aware that our physical, mental, and spiritual health is at risk when you're living in a country that has no morals. Our country of birth has no morals. They can say whatever they want to say. They can sit up on their high horse and talk about how they're the best country on earth and this and that and the other. The bottom line is, if you look at the policy that they are putting forth, the policy that they don't fight against, then what are we left to conclude? What are we left to conclude? Right? I don't see that we've got one party who is absolutely devoid of anything that speaks of love. And then we have another party that is so busy trying to follow the rules, they have no backbone and they're not fighting for the people. And that's the bottom line. That is the bottom line.
Well said.
So there is no reason for us to stick around and continue to give our tax dollars for this nonsense. They have never truly cared. Neither party has ever truly cared about us. The party that claims the color of blue started out as the most racist party on the planet, if you all remember.
Yeah, and it flipped.
And it only flipped because the president that happened to be the president in the 1960s when the Civil Rights Act was being passed happened to be a Democrat. Whoever was president at that moment in time would have been the party of BIPOC people, because that would have been the person who was going to be forced because of civil unrest to pass the Civil Rights Amendment. Now, we are still in a position where the right for us to vote is not guaranteed.
That's right.
There is no reason why this is not truly written into the Constitution as an amendment. The protection and the admission that there will always be human beings that want to stop other folks from voting. And that's the truth. And so since they have taken the teeth out of the Voting Rights Act, we have seen time and time again that states who have never supported people of color. If you don't know what BIPOC means, it's Black, Indigenous, and people of color, who have never supported BIPOC people, are passing laws upon laws upon laws to make sure that it's harder for us to vote. Those same folks who claim to be all about love and all about Christianity are passing laws every day to make sure that women do not have the right for reproductive health. There is a better life out there, folks. There's a better life. And it seems to me that you need to stop hesitating, realize what's at stake, and get out.
Hence the fairy tale music at the end of the video.
Get out.
Don't get lulled back to sleep.
Exactly. All right. So we're going to say hello. That was a very serious start to our video. But hey.
Had to get it off.
This is the stuff that needed to be said. So, hey, Word Up Psychotherapy from Seattle. Great to see you. I'm glad that you caught us live. Of course, one of our favorite people, Action VJ,
Action VJ,
saying, y'all, hit that like button. Hit that like button. We have over 150 people watching right now. So I'm hoping, I can't see what the likes are. I'm hoping that we have over 150 likes. Jeanette says she wanted to leave before the last inauguration. I know that's right. Hey, Greta.
Hey, Greta.
We always have a softness to our voice when we see Greta. Thank you for watching, Greta. We love you. Hey, Peggy. Good Sunday, y'all. I watched Adelia, Stephanie, and Rashida's videos. Timely information to put into action. Thanks. You're absolutely, yes. All right. So we have to say, because we did get this idea from Exodus Summit for 3 of our most favorite women on YouTube. That is Rashida Dow, Stephanie Perry, who are the co-founders of Exodus Summit, did a video with a similar title, as well as Adelia Borchade of the Picky Girl Travels podcast and YouTube channel. They both did something. We didn't watch them. I saw the title and I'm like, we're going to continue this conversation Halisi and Rick style. So thank you, Peggy, for reminding me of that. Hello, Eleanor. Hello, H.
Hi, Deborah.
And Deborah McCrae. I'm so glad that you made it. We just saw you yesterday, right, in the chat, because she went to the Move to Portugal Summit and bought the All Access Pass. And so she got to ask questions from our experts, and we're so glad that you had that opportunity. Hey, Winnie.
Hey, Winnie.
Phyllis is also in the crew, and we saw them yesterday, as well as the Howards who live here. Hey, Kay. Hey, Damien. Good to see you. Tanya's in the house, and Holly and Vanessa. Good to see you. I think we saw you yesterday as well. Yeah. Christy and Cassandra. This is our family right here, y'all. We've got a new professor, Agayu. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hello from Puebla, Mexico. Give us more information, sweetheart. I'm not sure where Puebla is. Hey, Professor. Good to see you. I want you to email us an update on where you're at, baby. I want to know, because the last time we talked, you were pretty close to getting out of there. And so I want to update. Somewhere, everywhere. I love it. That sounds like a new name.
It does.
Yeah. If so, welcome. If you've been watching and just not commenting, we're glad you're back. We're glad you're commenting and adding to the conversation. And if we didn't notice you before, we're sorry. Greta Cobb is in the house. Hey, Venus.
Action BJ, I'm triggered. Hey, I sent you a text the other day. Hit me back. Make sure I send it to the right place.
It was WhatsApp. So I understand. And you could tell by the seriousness in my voice that I get triggered too. If y'all don't know, I used to work in politics. I retired from politics. It almost killed me. And the crazy part about it was, so you showed 2 people whom I know that were in that video.
In the video, yeah.
I knew all of our Democratic Congress people, and 2 of them I consider friends, and they were in the chamber, barricaded in, and that's Joe Neguse and Jason Crow, and I was in tears, because I know both of them have young children and wives who are also in Colorado, probably watching on television as I was watching, and just knowing that their families were probably scared to death.
Oh yeah.
It's, yeah.
And Jason was trying to comfort people. He was shielding people, actually.
Yeah, he was.
In the chamber.
Yes, he was. He's a veteran, and that's exactly what he was doing. And there's no reason why you retire from the military and then you go into Congress and you have to bring out your military training.
You go to war for this country, and this is how you're treated.
It's ridiculous. Hey, Lori, good to see you. Auntie Trey is in the house, and Jess and Sharon. Lori Butler is in the house. Maria, girl, please. I'm glad you caught us live as well. AK Serrano and Pinky. Yes, Cassandra said, hit that like button, please. Killer Queen is in the house. Hi, Alicia
Hey,
Rick. I never
Queen.
made it to Lisbon because I got very sick in Spain. Oh no, and had to come home for treatment. I am so sorry. Yes, maybe next year, maybe you can come to our meetup. We're having our next meetup in June 2024. I believe it's the 17th and 18th. The information is in the chat below. Y'all, we are giving you 2023 prices. We have not priced out everything. So anybody who does not buy before January will get a discount because we have to make sure that we at least cover costs. So if you want to come, this could be your scouting trip. We use the Our Rich Journeys meetups as our deadline to say we're going to be out of here and in Portugal by Our Rich Journeys meetups, and that's what we did. So you can use this as your deadline. Hey Nicole, thank you for watching. So Nicole was a speaker and an awesome volunteer for our Move to Portugal Virtual Summit. And we're so happy you are in the audience. Yes. Hey, Kay, and Helen's in the house. The Process for Media Group. That sounds like a new name. Happy Sunday to you too, baby. Yeah. And Venus. All right, we are going to get started. Hello, 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 friends, family. We love you guys. And we're so happy that you're here. So if the next election takes us back to a government controlled by folks who believe that authoritative, pseudo-conservative, fake religious value system gets into office, then I think that there's some things that you should expect to happen. All right. Yeah. So, number one,
an increased overt white supremacy and fascism. It stands for a centralization, autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leadership.
For any of you who don't know what fascism is, because some folks use these words and they don't really know what they mean, right? So we saw in 2016 that the 45th president basically gave a okay to overt white supremacy and fascism, which was culminated with January 6th. There you go. I mean, what were these people thinking? And we know, had Black Lives Matter even walked and stood in front and protested in front of the Capitol building, we know what would have happened.
Oh no, that's Antifa.
Oh, is that who that
was? That's Antifa that did all that and it does all that. That's what Black Lives Matters is all about. They're Antifa.
There is no longer an excuse to say, well, I don't know what to believe. I hear so many folks who look like us, who are educated and who should know better, say, I just don't know what to believe. How can you not know what to believe? There are certain news organizations that you can trust when you read the news, not opinions, but the news.
The news.
If you are unsure which news organizations, then go ahead and watch the feed from Congress. Just watch the feed, the raw feed.
Yeah, it's there.
It is there. I can't remember what the name of the channel is.
C-SPAN.
No, is it C-SPAN?
C-SPAN.
Okay, it's just a feed. And then you can hear what they're saying on your own. You don't have to get anybody else's opinion. You don't have to listen to anybody else give you a rundown of what happened. Watch it, y'all. Watch it and hear the craziness that's coming out of some of these Congress people's mouths. 30 years ago, the thought of closing down the government in the United States would have never, ever crossed their minds.
They would have never thought about that.
Never.
They would have never thought about that.
They have lost their minds. When they close down the government, that means people in the military don't get their checks on time. That's what that means. And what's sad is I remember our son-in-law saying the last time, well, not the last time, but one of the first times actually that they shut down the government under Obama, and their checks were late. Our son-in-law's checks were late, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, and he blamed it on the Democrats because Obama was in office, even though at the time, because it was after 2010, the people in charge of the budget, who's in charge of the budget? Congress is in charge of the budget. They hold the purse strings, not the Senate and not the president. Okay. And so they were the ones who and we had to educate them.
Yeah.
And say, no, Obama has no control over that.
No control whatsoever.
Right. But meantime, our grandbabies aren't getting fed because they ain't got no money to buy groceries. This is what happens. This is what happens. And if you don't have folks in your family who are in the military, something like that, then maybe you don't understand the significance of closing down the budget. So what else is going to happen if the next election goes the wrong way? Less gun control.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you.
Even more less gun control.
Right.
There's already less gun control.
There's already less gun control. It's going to be out of control. Like I could see them putting some federal mandate put forth that does not allow states to control their own gun laws.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing about it is so Colorado has pretty not strict, not as strict as California and New York, but stricter gun laws than the states around them. So all you have to do is just go across the border and bring them back. Like, what difference does it make if, this state and that state have strict gun laws when all you have to do is cross the border? I don't know about you, but I don't want my grandbabies or my great grandbabies having to do active shooter drills. That is nonsense.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday on the men's talk.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I left people with is they don't know what active shooter drills are here.
No. There is no way on God's green earth that in a supposedly highly industrialized nation that is fully developed economic system, et cetera, and I'm using quotation marks because you ain't that evolved if you can kill babies and nothing happens. Hello, right? And so it's going to get even worse. Number 3.
Continued rise in racial violence.
Do we need to say any more?
Continued rise in racial violence.
It has always been bad for people who look like us. It got out of control. It was like when Obama got elected, folks lost their minds. But there was still this notion that we better not say too much in public. But then after the 45th president, it was like, no holds barred.
Mm-mm.
No holds barred. We are free to say and do whatever we want and not think that there are going to be any ramifications to our well-being, to our money stream, to our income stream. Cancel culture aside, these people have not paid any price for the terrorism that they are inflicting on the BIPOC and LGBTQ community. They are not suffering at all for what they are doing to us. Y'all, okay. Number 4, further destruction of the Affordable Care Act and a rise in prescription drug prices. When the Affordable Care Act came out, it was not perfect, but it was pretty good. And I remember, we were both employed, so we didn't qualify, and we made too much to be on the Medicaid expansion, which Colorado did adopt. And they adopted the ACA and created their own version of it and their own portal and all of that stuff, like most of the blue states did. However, as they started chipping away at the things that would keep the prices low. So when I first looked at it and I plugged in our numbers just to see what it would be for 3 of us, for Rick and I and our youngest son, to be covered with a Cadillac plan, I would say, we would pay, like if we were making the same amount of money but self-employed, hence no employee-owned insurance, we were going to pay like $160 a month.
Right.
Now, we've already heard from some of you what you guys are paying. This is what happens. They keep chipping away, and no one has said anything. No one has punished these people for doing this because we don't understand the ramifications on our everyday lives. The moment that the SCOTUS, that the Supreme Court said that, no, we're wrong. This is not a tax. You can't do that, right? And they took away the mandate. There you go. The price is going to go up. And then it just continues as they chip away piece by piece by piece until it's just a shell. And the only thing that will be left is you can keep your kids on your insurance until you're 26, and they can't discriminate against pre-existing, but they can charge you more. They just can't kick you off. Hence people paying $4,000 and $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000 per month.
Whatever they want, the price will be.
For health insurance.
Yep.
All right.
The next thing would be the reduction of rights for women and BIPOC people.
That's right. And so we already saw, right, Roe v. Wade went away. We saw that the Voting Act's right got all its teeth taken out. I think it's got one tooth now, a snaggle tooth. Right?
Different states are doing different things. I mean, trying to cancel the Black culture in Florida. It's like, what, we don't exist anymore? You're going to cancel our history? You want to cancel our history?
Well, it's not our history. It's the United States history, right?
Well, personally, it's my history.
It is part of our history. It definitely is part of our history, but it's also the United States history. And, it's funny because we get people on here all the time talking about, how could you move to a country that started the slave trade? Meanwhile, they're living in a country that is trying to erase the fact that they built their 100% of their economy was built upon free labor. But they ain't got nothing to say about that. They have nothing to say about the fact that we still have free labor. It's called prisons. They have nothing to say about that. They're good with that. They're good with the overrepresentation of us in these prisons. They're good with that. We make up 14% of the population in the United States, but what, 30, 40% of prison population? Really? Are you really saying that Black people are inherently more likely to be criminals?
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
So if you get into my comments talking about why are you in Portugal, not only am I going to block you, but I'm going to give you a history lesson first. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So they've reduced the rights of women and BIPOC people. So soon as they said Roe v. Wade is no longer a thing, soon as SCOTUS said Roe v. Wade is no longer a thing, then we saw a bunch of states basically take away the right of women to access reproductive health, more specifically abortion. Did you know that when a woman has a miscarriage, especially a late-term miscarriage, that the extraction of that fetus from her womb is an abortion? There are Catholic hospitals that refuse to extract that fetus and send the woman over to Planned Parenthood. Hopefully she doesn't bleed out on the way. This is what we call religion. This is what we call love. This is what we call doing God's work, right? Not my God. Not my God. What's the next one?
Oh, further deterioration of the quality of food.
As F45 started to diminish the power of the FCC, the FEC, and the FDA, specifically the FDA when it comes to food, right? We've seen that they've just started putting any old thing into our food.
Anything.
It's addictive. It is unhealthy. It causes health issues, which of course helps pharma, right? It helps pharma and all of these insurance companies who are making money based upon the fact that we are so incredibly unhealthy. This is a capitalistic machine. And if you continue to support it, shame on you. Shame on you. All right. So a further deterioration of the quality of our food, increased cost of living. That goes without saying. That goes without saying, because it's just so crazy. It's just so crazy. So they say that the blue party is the tax and spend party.
Right.
But if you really look at the statistics and you look at history and get the numbers, it actually is the other way around. The other party just, look, I ain't complaining because we got them stimulus checks and it helped pay off
It paid off some
the
debt.
last of our debt. That's what
Yeah.
we did. We didn't go out and buy big screen TVs. We paid off the last of our debt. Make it rain. 45 made it rain. And then now we're having to pay the price for that. We're having to pay the price for just sending out $2,500, whatever it was, $1,400 checks. But between the two of us, I think it was like $2,500 twice to folks who really didn't need it. I mean, we used it, but we didn't need it. They have no idea where that money went. They have no idea where half of that money went for businesses and all of that PPC or whatever the heck it was called. Absolutely. There was no paper trail or anything. It was a mess. And now Biden's having to clean that up. And now all of a sudden they're back to the debt and the deficit, the debt and the deficit. Every single time Democrats get in office, it's the debt and the deficit. So the other party runs up the debt and deficit, and then the blue party has to try and clean it up, always following the rules and being nice and, oh, let's be civil and reach across the aisle and all this other nonsense while we are dying in the streets.
Right.
I'm so over it.
And the next thing is something that we always try to tell, especially our family. We always try to tell everybody, if you don't have one, get a passport. Get your passport, because you might wake up one day and it's damn near impossible to get one for whatever reason, for changing laws, or it takes a way longer. They push the time out in order to do it to where they can't do it. I mean, last we checked, they were getting 500,000 requests per week
y'all,
for passports.
All they have to do is take away some of the funding for that department. And so if you've got, let's just say 100 people handling 1,000 applications per week, take that down to 10 people handling the same 1,000 applications per week. And so what was a 3-month becomes a 1-year wait to get your passport. There's ways to do it without changing the laws.
Yes.
There are ways to do it without changing the laws, right? By executive order. The next president can do whatever they want by executive order, whatever is within their purview. Okay.
And we've seen it. We've seen it not in the United States, but we've seen other countries do it, kind of be more passive or not accepting people coming into the country and different things like that.
Well, no, we've seen it in the United States. He banned all people from the Middle East.
The Middle East,
right? He banned all people from the Middle East. And as far as executive orders or things along that lines, right? When you're giving away state secrets to the Russians, and you're doing all of these things that are flouting the fact that you have no regard for the law. And so all you have to do is just talk to the ambassadors and say, we would like for you to not give 50% of the requests for visas, for residency visas that come into your office. You don't have to pass a law to do that. You just talk to the ambassadors and say, this is what we want you to do. And if you want to remain in our country, we want you to do that.
Yeah. If you want our support.
Right.
So it's a 10-year investment. It's you do it, you don't have to change it or do anything for 10 years. We always say, and you can't go anywhere without it.
Exactly.
Outside of the United States.
Exactly.
You go to Puerto Rico.
Well, yeah, you can go to Puerto Rico, you can go to Samoa, and places like that, our territories, the American Virgin Islands. But this next administration could make America so unstable that our passport loses value. You want to get your residency before our passport loses value. They might put extra restrictions on, only some of the countries are asking for an FBI background check. Maybe all of the countries will start asking for that. Maybe they'll be asking for us to have more money. There are a lot of things that they can do if they don't feel comfortable that Americans are someone that they want in their country.
Yeah. So get the passport. If you don't have one, get one, or plan on getting one ASAP.
Exactly. So
Just to have.
yes. Yeah. No harm, no foul. So let's see what you guys are talking about. And then we're going to talk about things that you need to figure out before you move. And then we will get to the countries that we have on our list that you can move to more quickly than others. All right. Let's see where we're at. Y'all know if you want us to put your comment on screen, or if you have a question, put a Q in front of it. For those of you who are new to our lives, you might not know that. Hey, Ms. Cruz, Olaf from New York City. Check out Rachel Maddow's new book, Prequel, An American Fight Against Fascism. She lays out a future of the U.S. based on the history of World War I, World War II. This stuff isn't new. No, it's not new. It's not new. We know if we look at what was happening 100 years ago, we are in 2023. In 1923, what was going on, folks? We were just before the Great Depression. We were just before the Great Depression. And during that time, who was coming to power? What was happening? When people feel like they have financial insecurity, like they're like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like survival stuff is not going to be met. When that piece is insecure, you cannot trust what people are going to do.
No.
And they're looking for someone to blame.
They're always looking for somebody to blame.
Right? If the Mango Mussolini gets into power, I'll be leaving. Baby, you need to leave regardless. You need to leave regardless, because the bottom line is America does not deserve us. They do not deserve us. They have not shown that they value every American citizen and resident. They have not shown that. They have not shown that through policy, and they sure as heck have not shown that through their actions. You know, how that policy is enacted, right? You cannot legislate morality. You just can't. You cannot, you as much as we'd like to legislate what is legal and what is not, we still have human beings who are very, very flawed and have been taught generation after generation after generation that they are entitled to be at the top of the heap.
Yeah, I was watching Roland Martin. You know, I love Roland Martin, and he was talking about Chris Christie and how Chris Christie is really going against, you know, Donald Trump. He's really speaking out and saying things.
Oh, now he is.
And Roland Martin called him on it. He called him on the carpet on it and said, "Look, how can you were one of the people that, I mean, you showed him how to debate against Biden. You were one of the people that were, you know, he was all one of you. You were kissing the ring. Now, all of a sudden, you've changed. And all these other people that are running for the Republican candidacy, you know, they all stood up and said, well, if he's nominated, we'll support the Republican." Nikki Haley.
All of them.
What's his name? Swami dude? I can't remember.
From Louisiana governor?
No. He's been gone.
Oh.
Wapaswamy, I think it is.
This must be somebody who wasn't in
office. Yeah, he's a young cat. He's a smart guy, but it's like, come on, you guys. You're going to support the same thing?
No, they're not smart. They're not smart. They're evil.
That's what Roland said. They're evil.
They're evil.
That's evil.
All right? And so, you know, Amber, look, you need to get out and then lead the way for your children and grandchildren. Do you really want your grandchildren to go through the same stuff that you went through as a kid and more? I watched the public school system, and the private school system will do the same thing unless it's an all-black school. I watched them kill the curiosity and the light from my son's eyes, and I felt like there was nothing that I can do about it. Now we're telling you there is something that you can do about it. There is something that you can do about it. So look, first, you know what they say when you're on an airplane. What do they say?
Put the mask on yourself before you put it on your loved ones.
That's right. Get out. Get
You gotta
out.
cover yourself first.
And then show your kids how to get out too. Yep, that is true. That is definitely true. Governments are governments. Governments are governments. Here's the difference, though, folks. So, a prime minister is not the president. It to me, and I don't. I'm not going to pretend to totally understand parliamentary government, but it appears as though a prime minister in over a parliamentary government is similar to Speaker of the House or President of the Senate. Definitely not Vice President, because what does Vice President do? I don't know. But yes, he has stepped down, and he claims to be innocent, and so that is what it is. However, this is a democratic socialist government over here, which means there are certain things that are just going to be guaranteed. And one thing is healthcare, right? Healthcare is guaranteed here. And the cost of private health insurance has to be in line. It is in line with what people make. And so if you're middle class, lower middle class on up, you can afford private insurance. And then you've got the public system, which is fantastic, that is going to support that system. So it's a whole different thing. Guns are not totally legal here. You have to have a mental background, as far as I know. You have to belong to
the background checks. You have to belong to a
sporting club, pay those dues, right? And then maybe you can get a rifle, not a pistol, not an AR-15.
You can't just get any type of gun.
Definitely not. Definitely not. So
ain't no concealed carries here. Ain't no, open carries here. And
yeah, definitely. So tonight's topic is how to leave before the next inauguration. But first, we want to tell you why you want to leave. And then the question, that's what we just got finished with. And then we're going to talk about what you need to ask yourself before you choose a place. And then we're going to get to the places that we came up with for the easiest digital nomad and retirement visas. So that is what we're talking about, Veronica. Thank you for watching from Facebook, gaslighting. That's right. That's right. Our school system rewards memorization. Right? What those powers want you to learn. That's it. Critical thinking is discouraged. Mm-hmm. It really is. It really is. And so woke up there, psychotherapy. Let me put this up on screen. It is indoctrination. Thank you for the super chat or super sticker, truth, all of it. I'm coming. Good. If you don't know, all of our super chat, super thanks, and super sticker money goes to our scholarship fund for our financial freedom course. If you need to get your money straight before you leave, or even now, and then you move on a digital nomad visa or something like that, a remote worker visa, something similar, it's beyond the bling. We Black folks need to get beyond the bling. It's our money mindset makeover for financial independence. We cover everything from investments, real estate investments, side hustles, as well as how to figure out your financial independence number, etc. I don't know how it feels to know that you have privilege that is undeserved. And I certainly don't know what I would do to try and protect that. I know what I wouldn't do. And I wouldn't be crushing people under my foot to keep it. I think I have enough self-awareness and about my own abilities, right? That regardless, I'm gonna be okay, right? I'm gonna be okay. And what comes around goes around, y'all. I truly, truly do believe that what comes around goes around. And so, so Sherry says, throughout history, people have used organized religion to commit the worst human rights
Oh, yeah.
violations and atrocities. And that's what they're doing. These people who are thumping the Bible and talking about Christianity, Jesus would be appalled, and would not claim them. He would be like in the marketplace, throwing everything off the tables and saying, y'all don't represent me. Y'all don't represent me. It made me sick to my stomach too, Christy. I mean, and the bottom line is we have no guarantee that that's not going to happen again. They can put whatever measures in place, but a mob is a mob.
Yeah.
Pinky says, I had a Trumper tell me recently to wake up and smell the coffee. When I told him, he just told me to get woke. The discussion ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's awful. I was going to Mexico for a year, but I have to fight. I'm going to come to once again fight for Biden and Harris. It's going to be stressful this year, but I can't watch this from Mexico. More power to you, Yvette. More power to you. I will vote. That's what I will do. That's my fight. I will vote. But I'm not going to knock on not one more door. I'm not going to make not one more call or do anything else until the Democrats get a backbone and stop acting like this is business as usual. Stop acting like we still have the same Congress and Senate from the 80s, the 70s, the 90s. We don't. We don't even have...
Like we can reach them. We can reach them.
We don't even have the mentality that was under Bush too.
Nope.
Right? These people are crazy. They are crazy. These are the people who are still in office, who were texting the mob to tell them where members of their Congress were at. And look, every single person who could be identified from those videos should be in jail. And I haven't heard but a handful. So I'm no longer going to fight for a country who has told me that I ain't him. I am no longer going to fight for a country that is okay with me being paid with a master's degree, the same as this mediocre white male is getting paid for an associate's degree. I am no longer going to fight for a country who tells me that I don't have the right to take care of my body and to make decisions about my body. I am no longer going to fight for a country that tells me, oh, your right to vote is a maybe.
Questionable.
No.
We'll see.
No, because Biden and Harris did not get that stuff reversed. They did not fight when they had the Congress and the Senate. They did not fight to get the Voting Rights Act into the Constitution so that the SCOTUS could not take it away. I'm not doing it. So now we will just vote for the lesser of the evils. Y'all think about that while I look through these comments. As a child, I was very well indoctrinated in slavery and the Holocaust. I have never trusted living in USA as safe for us Black folks. No, definitely not. Definitely not. And it's not about the money. It's not about the money.
Mm-mm.
Although they will say that. They will say, well, he was rich, so we'll get rich too. I want to know how many of those folks who said that when they voted for him actually have more money now.
Yeah. How many of them got paid?
How many are rich? Unless they stole with the PPC or whatever that stuff was called. Whatever it was called. I don't know. So, all right. So Kimmy says, I think Black people should still vote. We should still vote.
Definitely.
We have paid the price. Our ancestors bled for the right to vote. We gonna vote. All right.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I have to donate money, time, or energy to that nonsense. nor give up my soul, my peace of mind for something that needs to be overhauled. And it's going to take more than this next election to get America on the right track. Its foundation was born out of the genocide of the original people of that continent. The genocide, that country was born in blood, y'all. That's the foundation. That's the cornerstone of the United States, born out of the blood, the genocide of those original people, and then built upon our backs, the folks from the African diaspora. And I'm sorry, I just don't see where my reparations are. Where are my 40 acres and a mule? Exactly. Exactly. Right? All right. So let's go. Let's get to MLK would be so disheartened at the state of Black people in this country today, but he would be so proud of the OBU community is saying in the Exodus movement. He is in the promised land now. Yes. And we know that Martin Luther King realized near the end of his life that he was fighting for the wrong things. We should never, ever, ever have been fighting for integration. That wasn't the fight. The fight was for economic equity. We don't need to be integrated. We need economic equity. With that comes power. And with power comes everything else.
Yeah, that's why they destroyed Tulsa.
Exactly. So I will always say, look, money talk. No, you say.
I say money talks, people mumble.
That's right. So, so Sherry says, Africa is not my home. No, I was born in Chicago, Illinois. My people have been in this country since it was still an English colony. Most of our people have been here since it was an English colony. And since then, we've built it, and they have steadily committed genocide against us. We, African Americans, not the Africans who have come in the last, 40, 50 years, but those of us who are ancestors of those who were brought to this country, brought to the United States, and enslaved, right? We are a people without a home country. The United States, this is the country of our birth. They don't care about us. They do not care about us until it's time to vote. And then once we've voted for whomever they want us to vote for, then they forget about us. I'm sorry, but that is just the fact. There's a reason why there is a higher mortality rate for us, y'all. There is a reason why we are being enslaved in American prisons. Do not get it twisted. Don't stay and fight for something that is a sinking ship. It's a sinking ship. And it's only a matter of time. Every single empire must fail, and it does. Are these circumstances really new? Or are those in disbelief now simply being forced to see and believe the historical foundations that we face? No, it's not new. It's not new, but we thought we had already fought some of these fights, Cassandra, right? Like I'm almost 60 years old. And so my parents were all up in the civil rights movement. That's why I call them Malcolm X and Sister Soldier, right? I was at community meetings talking about gaining the rights that we are still fighting for today. That's the problem, right? We thought we had fought Roe v. Wade. We thought we had fought that fight. Didn't we fight that fight back in the 70s? Yeah. Didn't we fight the Voting Rights Act back in the 50s and 60s? Didn't we already do that? Why are we doing it again 50 years later? And so I think that we have been lulled into this sense that America is really created or has become a country where we can thrive. It is a country where they will allow a few to thrive and then point to them, point to Oprah, point to Jordan, point to Beyonce and say, Well, they made it, so obviously we ain't, we ain't racist. Well, obviously you just don't work hard enough. Like hard work ever led to success necessarily. I know plenty of people who work very, very hard and can barely pay the rent. Can barely pay the rent. All right. So let's get to the things that you need to ask yourself, because that was 1 hour right there. I'm sorry for the rant, y'all, but hey, you see that I am passionate about this.
She gets passionate.
And I'm not going to mollycoddle. I guess that's the word.
Mollycoddle?
I don't know, our community and play nice because some people feel like I'm stepping on their toes. It's time to wake up. Y'all, we are the frogs in a boiling pot of water. And if you can't feel the heat, jump out anyway. Jump out anyway. So these are the things that you need to figure out before you move. Go for it.
Cost of living versus income.
Just Kimberly, I will go ahead and so just Kimberly saying, where can we find the countries on the list? So I will PDF it and put it as a link. Give me 24 hours after this, because y'all, it's 9:30 at night here in beautiful Lisbon, Portugal. And I have read about the 2025 Project Anderson. So, all right. So the first thing to figure out, sweetheart, can you repeat it, please?
Cost of living versus your income.
What is the cost of living in the new country versus the income that you have coming in, be it from a pension or Social Security, or from your side hustle or your business, or from remote work?
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is the income tax implication. And those who went to the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit were all up into them tax questions.
Oh, yeah.
They were all up into those tax questions. If you want to buy the replays, y'all, in Portugal is on your list. You can buy the replays. It's less money than the last price for the lives because they're replays. But that information with everybody from visas, health system, Portuguese taxes, expat taxes, all of that, plus some, is covered in the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit. But the income tax implications, some countries will tax your income regardless of whether you made that money through their economic system. In other words, you work for a company that is headquartered there in their country or not. Okay. And then some countries will not.
Depends on the treaties.
It depends on the treaties, and it also depends on what they just want to do. So, like Mexico does not tax.
Yeah.
They won't tax. They don't will not tax money that is not made from a Mexican company. And so there you go. I think Panama doesn't tax pensions, right? Government pensions are not taxed here in Portugal. So you want to understand those tax implications to make sure that wherever you move, like if you are not 100% financially ready to move, we're saying we're going to give you a way to move out in the next year. Okay. But before you choose, you need to think about the income tax implications. The next thing is
healthcare quality.
When we do our best cities, we do not talk about the healthcare costs because the majority of developed nations have some type of universal healthcare, and the majority of nations have less expensive quality healthcare in comparison to the United States. But you do want to check out the quality of their healthcare. Like healthcare here in Portugal, not only is less expensive, but it's the highest quality, right? The quality is just as high as the United States, if not higher. And I say if not higher because my experience is that the doctors take a bit more of a holistic approach and don't just take 10 minutes, talk to you, and then prescribe something and say, see you in 10 days or whatever. So that's been and we're still going to do that. We're still going to do that Thursday short on healthcare. We thought we were doing it this Thursday, but this Thursday is Thanksgiving. And we got plans, y'all. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do something else. So healthcare quality. The next thing.
Language barriers.
Why are you smiling, baby?
Because, it's a thing. It's a thing.
It is a thing. It is a thing. And we, on our list, we made sure to include places that are not the typical places that we talk about. As you know, we live in Lisbon, Portugal, and they speak Portuguese here. And this is one of the countries that has the highest amount of people who speak English in the country, right? And speak good English too. Like we were having a pretty long conversation with one of our favorite people in the grocery store today.
Yeah.
Right. And if I, and he knows he speaks English pretty good, but he still like says, I don't speak English that well. If I spoke Portuguese, even half as well as he speaks English, I'd be happy.
Oh, shoot.
Right. And so you want to know if English is spoken just for a softer landing. We're not saying don't learn the language. You're going to have to learn the language, and you're going to have to figure out if this is a language that you want to learn, if it's going to be long term. If it's just going to be, look, I'm going to do this digital nomad thing for a year, and then by then I'll have my finances straight for retirement or for a longer residency, and I might find another place, then that's another thing. But even if you're just going to go to a place for a year, learn the basics. Learn how to order food, learn the greetings and the thank yous and all of that. But also think about if this is a language that you would want to learn. I'm going to tell you, if they don't have the kind of alphabet that I can read, I'm not interested. I am not interested in learning a whole new writing style. And is it Japanese or Chinese that has like hundreds of characters in their alphabet?
I think it's Chinese.
It might be Mandarin. Yeah. I don't know. But I know, look, it was hard enough for me to wrap my mind around 26 letters. and
don't be throwing no extra letters up there.
Right. And 15 vowel sounds. English, Portuguese, we have a lot of vowel sounds, right?
Oh my goodness.
5 vowels and 3 sounds each for each vowel. So look, if you know, if this is not something, this is a question that you need to ask yourself. And then lastly,
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Good lifestyle.
Your lifestyle. So we always say, have that list of needs and wants, right? What do you absolutely need to have? And then what do you want to have? What's a nice to have? So when we talk about lifestyle, no, that's scratch. When we talk about lifestyle, do you want a walkable city? Do you want to be in a metro area that has museums and theater and things like that? Or do you like outdoorsy things and you want to be close to hiking and beaches and things like that? Or maybe both, right? Lisbon has both. But every city doesn't. Do you want to be near the beach? Or it's like, no, I don't want that humidity. I want to be more inland. All of those things you need to think about. And so you are not making decisions just based upon emotions and I just got to get out of here. All right, let's see what y'all are talking about. Okay, Deborah, it took only about 30 days to get our passports because we paid the extra fee to expedite them.
Okay. That's good.
Will this be available later?
Yeah.
If you realize that your tax base is moving away, will you try to do things without passing laws to make sure that the tax base stays? Can you get residency without giving up your passport temporarily? Absolutely.
Yeah.
In my career, I have to have access to my passport. We haven't seen you a while. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
I know. Wow.
So I'm glad that you are back. So yes, we did have to give up our passport for about a week. And
yeah, for them to put the visa in.
For them to put the visa in. But that's for Portugal. And for Mexico, we went there with our passports. They put the visa in right there on the spot, or not if you get denied, but they put the visa in right there on the spot and we walked away with our visa. Okay. So it depends on what country you are trying to get residency from. Had we lived in San Francisco, then we might have only had to give up our passport for a day or two, FedEx back and forth, right? To the embassy and then back to us. Maybe we would have sent it on Tuesday, got it back on Friday. But because we came here on a tourist visa because we weren't waiting and paying rent on an empty apartment, we had to send it back to the States. And then they had to, and that's a whole thing. And you guys know the story. And then they had to send it back. So we didn't have it for about a week to 10 days.
Probably about 10 days.
Yeah, something like that. But in general, that's not necessarily how it has to go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what some of the Jewish newspapers were saying during that, after he got into power, right? So he's rise to power, rise to power, rise to power. He's talking all of this rhetoric that people are like, he can't be serious. So the Jewish newspapers at the time were saying, we have checks and balances. Yes, he got elected, but do not panic because we have checks and balances that will make sure that he cannot do the things that he said he was going to do.
And history speaks for itself.
I keep hearing so many Black folks saying that they're not going to vote for Biden. What we just heard was the exact reason why we must vote. Yes, even if you leave. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
we even voted in the school board elections in our local town where we used to live and own property. Okay, we vote, we vote, we vote, we vote because we have paid the price. I didn't see it, but I definitely have to.
Yeah, George step up on the list. He was on his show. Okay.
I don't like him. He's George Stephanopoulos.
Yes.
He's such a mamby-pamby. Let me see which way the wind's blowing, and that's what I'm going to do. Miss Halisi, 100% in agreement. Ask how many veterans of color are still victims of racial prejudice.
Oh, yeah.
That piece right there, right? Our brightest need to leave the USA. Let the USA experience a brain drain. That's right. That's right. No mas. No mas. That is right. We have fought in every single war that the United States has engaged in.
And half of them, they wouldn't even give us guns to fight the war.
No, we were cleaning out the latrines for some of them. And, because we don't have the mental capacity to be able to understand the strategery.
But,
yeah, but we know the truth. We know the truth, right? All right. So Diane says, you guys give so much information. Oh, greatly appreciate it. Love your mindset and that you care about others. Absolutely. Absolutely. The United States was killing us. And we love y'all. And we want you guys to live to see another decade. And it's hard to do that. What we talked about last week is how moving abroad changed our mental health and mental wellness.
Mental wellness, yeah.
Right? And what we know is that stress kills. And it is very, very stressful for your whole life to be a continuous fight. Fighting for this, fighting for that, fighting for justice, fighting for Black Lives Matter, fighting for voting, fighting for women's rights. When can we stop fighting? When can we stop fighting? I don't want to spend my whole life fighting.
Nope.
So I've heard that the cost of living is metastasizing in Portugal, specifically housing costs. Will this be a new financial stressor in Portugal due to unknown rising costs? So actually, Cassandra, I don't know if you were in, or maybe she said this to us offline. So the market is actually softening here and rental prices have, and that's just Lisbon, y'all. That's not Portugal.
Yeah, it's not Portugal.
It's Lisbon proper. It's not even Lisbon Metro, okay? Lisbon proper, the city center where we live. So in Porto and Lisbon, those are the two major cities in the country of Portugal. um, the people who are the experts are saying that the market is softening, so it's stable. Now, depending upon what they do with NHR, I think that will affect pricing. They have a lot of cranes in the air, etc. But the thing about it is that the social safety nets that they have in a democratic socialist country are so wide that a lot of things that fall under basic needs are subsidized. Now, is it just as easy for young families to buy an apartment, because that's mostly what you have in the city center, an apartment today as it was 10 years ago? Of course not. But then they didn't have the economic capacity 10 years ago that they have today as well. There were not as many cranes in the air as it were today. And a lot of the historic sites that we see in the YouTube videos and things like that did not exist or look like that 10 to 20 years ago. Like Place do Comércio, the yellow square that we see everybody in front of, that middle part was a parking lot, y'all. It was a parking lot.
Yeah,
The Uber driver told, the Portuguese Uber driver told us that. It was a parking lot. And now it is a tourist center, right? With all of these restaurants charging too much money. So, just like with gentrification, yes, the neighborhood gets an influx, and the city, the country gets an influx of economic, and then there's some inflation as well. But food costs, cost of healthcare, cost of prescriptions, cost of transportation are still about 50 to 30% of what they are in the major cities in the United States. Is there an age minimum to join your course? No. No. We have everyone from 30 to 70 in our course. So yeah. Oops. Okay, looking for questions. And then, did I?
Did you?
Or was that an? Oh, there we go. Yeah, thank you, baby. Abdul, I see you're in the live this time. Okay, Diane. I'm the one who answers all the comments, y'all. I answer every single comment that comes in, unless the person is being a butthole, and then I just ignore. But some people, I see some people here who are usually watching the replay that are in the live, and it's just nice to see you in the live chat. Jesus said, "Those who cried, Lord, Lord, didn't we cast out the demons in your name?" He said, "Get away from me. I never knew you." Hello.
Yeah.
Get thee behind me. That's right. That's right. All of these folks thumping the Bible and shouting hallelujah, y'all. All I know is that where we used to go to church, they said, bottom line is, it is about love. Christianity is supposed to be about love. Love yourself and love others as you love God. And the stuff that are coming out of their mouth
is crazy.
Like my son used to say, where is the love in that statement?
Yeah.
Where is the love in that statement? Every single November and sometimes mid-year, there is an election. Like when my pastor said, "Oh, I threw that ballot away. That election wasn't important."
They're all important.
I fussed him out.
They're all important.
I fussed him out. And it's more important to vote locally than it is to vote federally. Both are important, but locally is where you're going to feel the impact quickly. Y'all don't trigger me. This is coming across like we should give up. What about us who literally have no way to leave? No money, no online skills to get out while earning money online. I'm so sad in my spirit. There is always a way to make money.
There is.
There is always a way to make money. And there is a way. Look, there are countries where you can live well just having an online call center job for $10 an hour. Who can't get that job? Who cannot get that job? Giving up means not voting. So I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that you have to put on your own mask first. And if the country is killing you, which they have been trying to kill us since they brought us to the country, right? If the country is killing you, then you need to look back and say, what is it that I'm really doing?
Mhm.
What am I doing? If you are in debt and you move to a place where you can live well on $1,000 per month and you have your call center job, you now have the extra money to pay that debt off.
Yeah.
There is another way. There is another way. All right. If you feel so compelled, I'm going to take you, Mariah, offline because I'm not talking to you on this. Look, a lot of times we put ourselves in position where we don't have the financial ability to do what it is we need to do. And part of that is based upon ego. I know because that was me. You know, do you really have to have your own apartment? I can't have no roommates. You know, I don't like to. Really? Because you're in debt right now. Right? All right. So there's always a way to get out of the hole. There are going to be some that are going to be left behind, most definitely. And what I can do for them is vote. But what I will not do is sacrifice myself, my well-being, and my health because someone else made choices that did not allow them to leave.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's about making the right decisions, the right choices, and figuring it out.
I did not grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. There was no trust fund waiting for me.
And believing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself.
Yeah. I mean, Rick and I did not grow up rich. We grew up working class to middle class, right? I had somewhat of a privileged life, but you would not know that to look at my mom and dad today. There was no trust fund. There was no money for college or any of that stuff. They expected me to go to college, but had no money to pay for it. So I had tons of student debt and all of those things. We all make choices. And if you are making a certain amount of money, then you really do have more choices than you think you have. If you come from abject poverty, the only thing that I can do is love you and vote. But what I won't do is sacrifice my own well-being in fighting for something that I don't believe is going to be achievable within my lifetime.
And Myra, you'd be surprised at what you can do and how to make things happen for you. It's just having a different mindset about a lot of things because we didn't think we were going to retire. I
Yeah.
don't think we're going to retire.
No.
I mean, and we sat down with the financial guy and he's like, oh, blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that.
It was
And
bleak,
like,
y'all.
Oh my God, for real. It was like,
It was bleak.
I'm going to be working till I drop dead or till they kick me out.
Yeah. Yep.
Whichever came first.
Yep. And what would have happened first was you was going to drop dead because they were working you 70 to 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
It was crazy for the same amount of money. They do not care about us, y'all. They don't care.
So it's a mindset. And like Halisi said, sometimes you have to make a move somewhere else where you have a lower cost of living. And maybe that job, that online call center job or whatever, to where you're making enough money to where you can pay your debt off faster and still be able to survive and take care of yourself.
And maybe even live better.
And yeah, in some cases, even better.
Yes.
I mean, come on, we know some people like that.
We do.
And there's a video we did with a young lady named Nikki and her mom.
Right.
And she'll tell you her story. Check that video out.
It's called From Poverty to Paradise,
For
moving
real.
on to Mexico.
And she's thriving.
Yes.
She is truly thriving.
Yes, they were on assisted living, food stamps, subsidized housing, the whole 9 yards. Mom was basically in a shelter.
Yes.
And now they have a little casita, a house in Mexico, and they're living their best lives.
Mm-hmm.
And now they are living with dignity just off of Mom's Social Security check of $1,600 a month or something like that. She gives all her business in that video. Y'all, there are ways to do this.
You can do it.
Don't believe the hype that the United States is the best country on earth, because it is not. The world is looking at us like we have lost our ever-loving mind. And so, hey, Amber, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, we do help others get their finances in order. Our online course is called Beyond the Bling. Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence. It comes with monthly group coaching and a community where we answer questions. As you know, we pop in a few times a week and we'll answer your questions in the in between times. It's going to go up in 2024. So if you're interested, you want to get in on the 2023 price. It's really inexpensive for what you get. It's like 9 modules from the rooter to the tutor. We talk about all of it, from the money mindset to a side hustle and everything in between. Investing, real estate investing, figuring out your FI number, analyzing your expenses, etc.
And I want to say, I got it because Myra just got me. She's tugging at my heart. You can do it. I mean, we have scholarships that we will give out. They're limited, but write us, send us some information, let us know what's going on with you, and
Yeah.
we're here to help if we can.
I want to say, so we've given out 6 scholarships to Beyond the Bling, and I've only seen 2 of those folks actually show up. So now that makes me question, are you really serious about this? Do not let life get in the way of future you. You have to continue as you're doing what you need to do today, investing in future you. Sometimes that investment is time and learning new things. So if you need a scholarship, send us an email. I don't need to hear a sob story. I just need to hear what you plan to get out of it. And this is only for people who truly, truly cannot afford the €127. Okay, that's all it is. And so if you truly cannot afford that, just tell us what you want to get out of it. And if I think that the course can meet your objectives, then you're in. And it's as simple as that. Your voice topics and points are like a siren call to action and invokes a sleeping anger. Yes, you should be angry, Shaquan. Seriously, because we keep repeating history. We keep repeating it time and time again. I am so tired of having these same conversations. Ms. Alicia, your truth is profound and your honesty is refreshing. Thank you, Anya. Folks in Denver, boy, they didn't know how to act. And one lady, I remember one lady who was also not from Colorado said, "You're not from Colorado, are you?" And I was like, "Why would you say that?" Because of what you talk about and the things that you post. So I am my parents' daughter, truly. So for those of you who don't know, my mom and dad were very involved in the civil rights movement. My father was in the room when Kwanzaa was being created. When I was little, the police showed up at our doors on a regular basis. Our phone was tapped, our house was bugged, and that was my childhood. And then to add insult to injury, my dad was an engineer for a company that had government contracts. And so since they couldn't shut him up, they took away his security pass and called him a communist so that he could not work. And we had to flee. That's my childhood. And now here we are again. We're not necessarily fleeing. There's no witch hunts where people are being called communists. No, we have a police force where too many of those folks act as though they're vigilantes and that they have the right to police our actions when we're not harming anyone, when we're not bringing harm to ourselves or anyone else. And yet they want to police our movement, right? We can't sit in the park. We can't walk in certain neighborhoods. And if it's not the police, then it's some other vigilante who wants to know, what are we doing in this neighborhood, and following us and carrying guns and following us, and then calling the police talking about, I got them. Don't worry about it. I got them in sight. Police are saying, stand down.
And then we end up dead. Anyway.
And we end up dead. Yes. Portuguese is difficult to learn. Even it's not difficult to learn if you have a knack for learning languages. It's not necessarily difficult to learn if reading it, if you know Spanish. But it takes a while to hear, especially the Lisboans, because they cut off things a lot more than some of the other Portuguese speakers. And so you have to get used to what is being clipped out. It's kind of like when we say, instead of saying, I am going to go to the store, we say, I'm gonna. What's gonna? Gonna? That's not a word. What is that? Like if you were an English learner and you heard gonna, or like, yeah. So it's kind of like that. And it's just,
Or I'm fixing to.
I'm thinking.
I'm fixing.
I'm thinking.
Or I'm finning.
We used to say I'm thinking. Even if one moves to a country with better health care, don't you still need to maintain health insurance in USA? Hence, this cost avoidance is not complete. Only avoids service costs, correct? So it depends. It depends on where you are moving from and what you are living off of, what your expenses are. And I say what your expenses are, not what your income is, because you can lower your income to meet your expenses. And there's ways to do that. Talk to your tax person. And so we come from Colorado. Colorado adopted ACA. So I pay less than $29 per year for my Obamacare. And so that's what I maintain, only because when we visit, it's too expensive to get travel health insurance.
Yeah. They don't want to cover you in the United States.
No, it's really expensive. Also focus on your effective tax rate. Yes. So, yeah. So when we say understand your tax implications, don't just read the thing. If you're really, really serious about a country, get into the Facebook groups and then ask for a tax person from that country who they would recommend, so that you can understand what your effective tax rate would be, right, Greta? So not just the listed one, but what are the kinds of write-offs you can have, et cetera, so that you can understand how much money you would have to give up. All right. Since I will be in Portugal this week and next, do you know anyone who might be available for coffee? Send us an email, hello@ourblackutopia.com. And then also, Isan, join the Facebook groups and put that in there too. A lot of Americans are going to be celebrating Thanksgiving even here. We're calling it Friendsgiving. And we're just getting together and a reason just to get together and have a potluck. I am self-employed and generating my own income, good, with not much fluid cash right now. Okay, but guaranteed streams of at least $3,400 per month should I come on a tourist visa. You can definitely afford to come to Lisbon, Portugal, making $3,400 a month. Tourist visas are 3 months for the Schengen area. And so that's Schengen is part of Europe. The ones that are not part of the EU, there are people who are part of the EU that's not part of the Schengen. So, but anyway, it's 3 months, and you could definitely afford to be here on that amount of money. Okay, we've got to get to these. I still have a passport, but it's not to be renewed. It's in good condition, but my name has changed. Should I get a new one? It's over 30 years old. Yes.
Yeah.
I would get a new one, Helen. And now, don't wait. I'm so exhausted. I'm sorry, Sassy Travel. Goddess. I have 2 sons. My firstborn is dead, and now I'm scared every day for my remaining son in this country. Perhaps if I leave, he will follow me. So you might want to watch an episode that we did with Penny and June, from Tragedy to Triumph, I think it's called. And she's got a similar story. And we're just hoping that our kids follow us. I worry every day, not just about the males, because we know females we're getting shot down too. And I worry every day. But again, we've got to put our own mask on first. If I have a steady guaranteed income of $3,400 a month, but no. Okay, I think I just answered that. Yep. All right, we're going to get to the country. So let's get to the digital nomad visa, and then we'll answer the rest of these questions. All right. So the only thing, okay, I'm just going to caveat this. We are going to talk about the easiest digital nomad visas to get that also have a low threshold for money. Okay. You don't have to put piles and piles of money in the bank, or you don't have to be bringing in piles and piles of money of income, right? And we tried to choose countries that are all across the globe. So we're not the countries that we usually talk about in the best cities videos that we've done. We've done 3 now. Most of those are not going to be mentioned in these next 2 lists. I will PDF the list. The only thing that we're going to talk about for the most part is the country and what the financial qualifications are. All of the other qualifications, and I got these from lists that say it's easy to get them. So it's not going to be no whole lot of stuff, but you're going to have to do your Googles and get the rest of the information. Okay. Don't get into the comments, not the family who's on now, because I know our family, our live family, but the replay, man, don't get in the comments talking about what about this, what about that, when it's Googleable, y'all. It's Googleable. All right, here we go.
I want to say hi to Brother Craig.
Oh, yay. Yay.
Hurry back, man.
Yes, we're waiting to see you.
Craig.
We're waiting to see you. Okay, number 1.
So the first country is Germany. Okay.
And for Germany, you only have to be bringing in $9,000 a year on the digital nomad visa. $9,000 a year, y'all. But if you are over 45 and you plan on extending that visa, they're going to want you to have some kind of pension plan in place that you are adding to that's going to add up to a certain amount of money by the time you're 65. That is assuming that you plan to stay in Germany. But otherwise, it's only $9,000 a year to qualify for that digital nomad visa for Germany. Number 2.
I'm going to attempt to say this. Curacao?
Curacao. Is part of the ABC. Curacao, yes. Part of the ABC islands. This is a Caribbean island. We usually don't mention the Caribbean. But guess what the requirement is for a digital visa, y'all? Zero. But you have to be prepared to show bank statements that are going to prove that you have the financial wherewithal to support yourself while you're there. Now, living on an island usually is not it is affordable, but it's not cheap. Curacao is one of the least expensive Caribbean islands to live. It is less expensive than most of the major cities in the United States. But if you live in Ohio or something, it might not be cheaper. Number 3.
Next place is Costa Rica.
Yes, Costa Rica. So you need to have $2,500 to $3,000 coming in per month. So if you think about that, that's $36,000 a year. That's not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money. And they give a 1-year digital nomad visa with a 1-year renewal. They'll renew it as long as you've been in country for at least 6 months. Number 4.
Okay. Number 4 is Mexico.
We couldn't leave Mexico off the list, y'all. We could not. We could not. You only have to prove that you're bringing in $1,600 per month, $1,620 actually per month. And it is a 6-month visa with renewals up to 4 years. After that, they want you to try and get permanent residency. Okay. The thing about Mexico is, even with this one, there is no amount of time that you have to stay in country.
Required stay. Yeah.
Okay.
Next one is Cape Verde. Or
Africa.
Cape Verde, Africa.
Yes, Cabo Verde, Africa, or Cape Verde, as Americans say it. And you only have to have $1,500 in the bank for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
$1,500 in the bank for the last 3 months, right? And that's a 6-month visa with the option to renew. You can do that online. You can apply to go to Cape Verde, and they speak Portuguese there. You can apply. It is an island. This is where all those Black people with blue eyes come from. It is the most beautiful people, Cape Verdeans. They really, really are. And so they have an average turnaround of 2 weeks to get an approval for their digital nomad visa.
Wow.
Now, obviously, you're going to have to save your money to get over there. It is an island off of, I believe, the western coast of Africa. So there's going to be a flight involved. It's actually cheaper if you come to, it might be cheaper if you come to Portugal.
Come to Portugal first, yeah.
First, and then, especially if you're on the East Coast, and then go to Cape Verde, because it's a Portuguese speaking country. we get cheap fares to all of the Lusophone or Portuguese speaking countries. So I don't
Okay.
know.
Next place is Georgia, not the state,
The country
the country.
in Eastern Europe. It has beautiful beaches, y'all. Beautiful beaches. And here's the thing about Georgia. You can go there on a tourist visa for a year. For a year. That means there is no monetary qualification. But if you want to get on a visa that could end up at going towards residency, then you need to be bringing in $2,000 per month. It's a 1-year visa, and that can be renewed. So, and you can do that online.
I like online.
Right? Because flying to San Francisco, look, Portugal's not easy, y'all. It's straightforward, it is transparent, but it's not easy. There's a lot of steps and a lot of things that you have to do.
Okay.
The next one,
Brazil.
another Portuguese speaking place. The amount that you need to have is $1,500 a month. And the digital nomad visa comes with 1 year with a 1-year renewal. Okay. So we've got, for the digital nomad visa, we've got Germany, Curacao, Costa Rica, Mexico, Cape Verde in Africa, Georgia, and Brazil. So besides Oceania, we've covered every single continent. Oh, no, not Asia. Not with this one.
No. And those are digital
nomad visas, right. Now we're going to talk about retirement visas. So, number one that we have never mentioned.
Panama,
y'all. For all of you guys say, what about Panama? What about Panama? What about Panama? It is on the list. So Panama, in case you didn't know, is on the dollar. They use dollar as their currency. So you don't have to worry about exchange rates and all of that stuff that we have to worry about. Folks or on the euro or on the peso down in Mexico, et cetera, with your cost of living going up and down based upon currency trading, right? It's on the dollar. And you only need to be bringing in for the retirement visa $1,000 per month.
Yeah, $12,000 a year.
Yep. And it can be permanent. Number two.
Ecuador.
We have mentioned Ecuador before, and their qualifications are 3 times minimum wage.
3 times minimum wage.
Which, as of this recording,
$13.50.
$13.50 a month or $16,200 per year.
Yeah.
So the young lady who talked about, no money, minimum wage, federal minimum wage is, I think, $16,800. I think, because federal minimum wage is $7.85, 7.85 times 2080, $16,328 per year. So Ecuador's requirement is less than federal minimum wage.
Yeah. You got 2 years and an easy renewal.
That's right. All right. The next one.
Costa Rica.
We just said Costa Rica.
Well, it's on here too.
Yeah, we just said it. We just read that.
Oh, okay. I get you. Dominican Republic. I'm just reading how you have.
The DR, folks. We did do an interview with a young lady who has been living in the DR for a couple of years, and she loves it. This woman started a business. She went down there to retire and then noticed that there was not any shops there that sold wedding dresses. People were flying to another country to get or driving or taking the train, whatever, to get a wedding dress.
She's the only game in town.
The only game in town. So there are opportunities in other countries as well that may not be. And what I found, like especially here in Portugal, the way we do business in the United States, we could clean up. If you wanted to start a business here in Portugal, because these people, they don't advertise. They ain't got no website. You want to see when the hours are. You don't know. You want to see what the menu says. They got an Instagram account. I'm like, where is the website, right? Where are the flyers? They do not do business with the kind of marketing strategies that we are accustomed to. And so there's a lot of missed opportunities. Unfortunately, we've seen a lot of mom and pop shops go out of business, not the ones that have been around forever, but startups go out of business. And it's like, you haven't advertised, you haven't done anything. And then even on Google, it says you're permanently closed and you haven't worked to fix that. So there are opportunities in other countries that don't take making money as seriously as Americans do. I'm just going to put it that way.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
The next one is Thailand.
Thailand. So this is limited to the cities of Bangkok, Phuket, Krabi, and Chiang Mai. And the financial requirement is $1,836 per year. Per year.
Right.
I hope that where I got this was right. 1836 per year.
I think it's per month.
It seems like it should be per month, but I know it said per year. So I'll triple check that and I'll put something in the comments. If I don't put anything in the comments, that means it's right. But I'm going to triple check that. All right. So we had to go ahead and add in Portugal. Because it is straightforward and because the pathway to citizenship is so easy and because the financial requirement is only minimum wage, Portuguese minimum wage. And so you can expect Portuguese minimum wage in 2024 to be about 900 euro per month. And right now, 900 euro is about $954 per month. That's the requirement. And then 50% for your spouse and 30% for your kids if you are retiring early and you still have kids and stuff.
It's 30% per kid.
Per kid. Right. Yeah, per kid. So of minimum wage. All right. So that's Portugal. And with the retirement visa, it is 2 years. And then you get an easy renewal for 3 years. And then you are asked to either do permanent or citizenship.
And you could do it online.
Or get out.
Renewal online.
Yeah.
Next one is Bulgaria.
This is one that was totally off of our radar. And this is what makes me think that Thailand is correct, because the financial requirement per month to get a retirement visa in Bulgaria is $400 per month, y'all. If the requirement is $400 per month, how inexpensive do you think the housing and cost of living is? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. If you need to get your money straight, let us help you get your money straight. Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence Beyond the Bling. The information is in the description below. There is a better life out there.
Yeah.
Put on that oxygen mask, y'all. Put on that oxygen mask. All right. So that's what we have for you. So the retirement visa places, the places that we found that are the easiest with the least amount of financial requirements are Panama, Ecuador, Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, Thailand, Portugal.
Was you going to say pork chop?
I don't know what I was going to say.
She's going to say pork chop.
I remember when my mom told me when I was little, she told me we were going over to somebody's house to have pork chops. In my 4 or 5-year-old mind, we were going over to have chocolate chip cookies. I was so hurt when she put that piece of meat on my plate. Anyway, all right. Thailand, Portugal, and Bulgaria. All right. Now we will take questions and then we're going to let y'all go. Let's see. Mike, haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, Mike.
Have not seen you in a while. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Teresa, right? Okay, what's Craig talking about? Thanks for saying that, Halisi. I think many see what you have done and assume it is out of their reach. Yeah, it's not.
It's not. It truly is not.
Right. If you are new to our channel, then let me tell you, we had a net worth in the negative now, and we did not make 6 figures. Now, we didn't make anywhere close to minimum wage either. Okay. So Rick and I together didn't even make 200. I think, obviously, if we never made six figures, I think collectively we made like 160 or something. Then taxes and this and that, and the higher cost of living, and then trying to keep up with the Joneses. That costs a lot.
Joneses cost too much damn money.
The Joneses cost a lot of money, y'all. A lot of money. And good to see you again, Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
I'm glad that you're in. Just checking in, y'all. Today's topic is on point. As Mr. Spock said, remember. Again, all of our super chat, super thanks money goes to our scholarship fund for our financial freedom course, Beyond the Bling Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence. And so we thank you. Dr. Phil is always, always, always donating to the cause and helping this community out. And we thank you and we love you for it. Seriously. All right. High vibe. What you talking about? OBU has given us a lot of us, not only hope, thank you, but the tools to understand our fire number. Yes, I personally learned to downsize and live below my means to make this happen for myself. And that's the thing, y'all, that I did not understand. I know grandma used to say, live below your means. And to me, that just means be able to pay all your bills.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean to spend less than you're bringing in. So if you bring in $2,000 a month, your bills bet not end up being $2,000 a month. Right. To me, that was like, hey,
I'm good.
I paid the minimum on my credit cards, right? I pay my bills on time. No. If you bring in $2,000 a month, then hopefully your expenses are $1,500 a month or something like that. And you're taking that $500 and you are investing it, saving it, and investing it, right? We saved up 2 years worth of living expenses as our emergency fund. We used some of that stimulus money to do so, right? And we did that during the pandemic when it was easier, when we weren't driving to work. Well, he was still driving to work. I wasn't. And we realized how much money we were wasting on nonsense. And we just stopped. Stopped. Whatever is in my closet is going to be good enough for me to wear.
Yeah.
Most of us have too many clothes. Let me take this off because I'm not talking to High Vibe about this. But most of us have too many clothes, right? We got the brand new Tupperware and the coffee maker and the this and the that. And then if you are still in the struggling phase, then it's spending money to try to make yourself feel better because you're miserable about your life. And what I'm saying is look for opportunities to lessen your expenses. It's better to live a little bit uncomfortably as a roommate or something like that and have peace of mind to know that your bills are going to be paid and that you are putting money aside for the future. You want to put together your FU money so you can tell, like, if things do not go our way in 2024, FU, I'm out. I am out, right? I have passed the baton. It's time for the 30-year-olds. It's their fight. It's their fight. We have put in enough time fighting the fight to try and make America do right by us. And I feel like we're taking one step forward and 2 steps back. Do you have a course group where in one's finances are already straight to support others to get straight and for ourselves to continue to grow? So I think the best place, Cassandra, if you've already got your money straight, join and you want to just help. And this is for everybody. You should join our Facebook group. Start there. Join the Facebook group, Fire Over 50 Finance. So it's Our Black Utopia Fire Over 50 Facebook group. You have to be from the African diaspora, but you don't have to be over 50. This is for people who didn't figure it out when they were in their 20s, okay? And so we have people in the group who have already fired, who have already reached their fire number and are there to support and help and add content and suggestions and things like that. And then we have people who are like, financial independence, what's that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a thing? Oh, let me find out about that. We will be starting a more regular paid community through Beyond the Bling in the future, but that's not in the immediate future because I am tired.
What the- Please let the anger motivate. Oh.
That piece right
There you
there.
go, right there, Craig.
That
right
piece
there.
right there. That piece right there. Hopefully, Black Americans won't be fooled out of voting. No, you have to vote. Republicans know that they can't get us to vote for Trump. Well, you'd be surprised how many Black folks are voting for Trump. So they will try to stop us from voting for Biden, which gets the same result. Absolutely. I didn't vote for Biden. I mean, in the primaries, I did in the general, but not in the primaries because I thought he was too old and I just knew too much about him. So I didn't vote for him. But obviously, I did help him get elected and make sure that Colorado got him into office. You have to vote. You have to vote.
Yes, it's important.
Question. So, Lisa, Mr. Rick, I will sponsor Ms. Mariah and I will purchase a course for myself at 2023 prices Beyond the Bling.
Wow. There you go, Mariah.
Mariah.
If you're still here, Mariah, say something.
Yes. Anya, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so, so much. That is beautiful. See, America likes to divide and conquer. There is no reason on God's green earth that all working class people should not be banding together to make sure that change happens in America. But they started a long time ago. Y'all know this. They started a long time ago. And they told white folks, look, we gonna let you purchase a little bit of land, but not the Black folks. And that because we were banding together back in the days, back in the 1600s and early 70s, we were banding together, okay? Saying, look, there's about 5 of these rich folks holding all of us down. And if we get together, then we can tell them what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. So they found a way around that. I'm telling you, we pull your resources, We look at other communities. We look at Asian communities and Latino communities, and we'll say either, they got everybody and their mama living up in that house, or we'll say, look how they stick together and help each other out. Both are true. Yes, they got everybody and their mama living up in that house because they understand. And that's why Latino households have a higher household income than most Black households. They don't necessarily individually make more. Sometimes they do, but not necessarily. But they're not into this. Everybody got it. You 18, get out, right? They are living intergenerationally, pooling their resources so that everybody can come up. Anya, thank you so much. Mariah, I hope I hope we're pronouncing your name correctly, baby. I hope that you take her up on this. So we'll see if you are still in the chat or if I scared you away with my. Y'all know who I am. Oh, good. Good. Thank you for the encouragement, Rick. I did email a few weeks ago requesting a scholarship. You did. I'm sorry I missed it, but we had this summit going on. So email us again. And
Anya got you.
Anya got you. hello@ourblackutopia.com. Anya, if you want to email us as well, hello@ourblackutopia.com. If I missed it, Myra, I'm so sorry. But this summit, the Move to Portugal Summit, and still we just had the last bonus sessions yesterday. And now I still have to do some stuff on the back end as far as the replay goes. The replays are available, but I need to move them from one platform to another. That's not going to be anything that you have to do. It's just more work for me, y'all. And we don't have a staff. There's no staff. It's just us.
And how do you say it? I think it's Myra.
I think it's Myra.
Okay.
It's just us.
Yeah,
it's just us.
So congratulations, Myra. Thank you, Anya.
Yes. And I love also Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Oh, yeah.
He's done some amazing articles for The Atlantic. that are very insightful and highly researched. I just purchased the Money Mindset Makeover. Will you be available for questions and concerns? Yes, thank you so much. Absolutely, Amber. So there, when you get the course, you also see that you sign up for the community. Right now, the community comes with the course. There will be a time when we'll offer the community outside of the course. But I need to normalize some things first and take some things off my plate before I add more things on. Because Action VJ was talking a lot of trash during the summit.
That's my bro.
I know.
That's my bro.
I know. He was like,
I expect it.
Halisi and Rick are the most retired people I know.
I ain't got nothing but love for that brother.
So do I. But he was talking that yakety smackety. So yeah, I that will happen next year, but I'm not going to make any promises on dates because I have totally bit off more than I could chew with some of these things. But the course is already online. In the community, it alerts us when you post in the community, and we promise to get back to you within a day or two, if not sooner, to answer those questions. And then every second Saturday of the month, we have a private Zoom where we answer questions and have guest speakers from time to time and things like that. Won't you be forced into USA Medicare at 65 and out of ACA?
No.
I don't think you have to get forced out.
Medicare, you're going to get Medicare anyway regardless. At 65, but you'll get Medicare Part A.
Right.
You can refuse to take Medicare Part B. Right now, I still have Medicare Part B because I was waiting until I got my SNS number here in Portugal to know that I was definitely covered. And if I was in the United States, I was covered because I have Medicare Part A and Part B. Now that I have that, I can cancel Part B.
The SNS number is our national health care number.
It's our national health care number here in Portugal, and everything, it's taking care of everything that I need to have taken care of. Plus, we do still have our private insurance here in Portugal. But like I said, I held on to Part B Medicare. They don't force you to take it. You can opt out of it. You can tell them you don't want it.
Yeah. And Medicare Part A just comes with.
That comes with it automatically.
So yeah. And so maybe I will be forced out of the ACA and encouraged to get Part B. I'll worry about that in 6 years. And who knows by then what's going to happen. Once you get your Portugal citizenship, will you get no?
It costs money to denounce your citizenship.
Look, Uncle Sam is that uncle who shows up at the family picnic, at the family reunion, already drunk. All right, talking smack, flirting with everybody, looking up his niece's skirt, right? Talking smack while he's playing space. That's Uncle Sam. He is not going to make it easy for you to leave the family, Chastity.
It's just not necessary to have to do.
So no, it's not necessary. It costs money. And I think we'll see how it goes. But right now there is still value in the American passport. And so we will keep it.
And we have family there, and we don't want to give up our citizenship.
That's another thing. Like that.
We own property there.
Yeah, we own property. Our kids are there. I don't want to have to apply for a tourist visa to visit my kids.
Right.
So there's that part too. Yeah.
Unless you choose on moving to a country that you do have to renounce your citizenship, because there are some out there.
Yeah. So High Vibe, I don't think Curacao is. Maybe the A and the B, which I can't remember their names right now, but Curacao, I do not believe is in Hurricane Alley, and it's right above Venezuela, which also my tutor says is not in Hurricane Alley. 20 years ago, I cross country to get away from home, underemployed, but it didn't stick. 12 years ago, I tried again, and it worked because I was running towards something instead of don't just run right. No, you don't want to just run away. You want to run to something. And that's why you need to have your needs and wants list. One of the things that we wanted is we wanted lower cost of living. We wanted universal health care. We wanted to give up our cars and live in a walkable city that also leads to mental and physical health, right? We wanted to live in a country where it would be less expensive and make it easier to travel to the other countries that we wanted to see. We paid, so we're going to South Africa in February, and what we paid for our round trip tickets is about what we paid for one ticket back in 2008, the last time we went. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. Where are the passive income locations? I'll never live again. Yeah, so we just gave those retirement visa, Cassandra. We just gave those retirement visa. And again, Panama, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Thailand, Portugal, Bulgaria. It's interesting. If you Google countries with retirement visas, there's not a lot of them. And of course, the United States is not on the list for just about any visa. It's really hard to get. We got you. We got you. It really, really isn't rocket science.
No, it's not.
And so again, the name of our course is called Beyond the Bling. And it's funny because I came up with that name back in 2008 when I was working on a documentary that we did in South Africa. And I noticed a lot of the same isms with the Black and colored community that I see with our community in America. And so that's when I came up with Beyond the Bling. And so now that's the name of our course, Beyond the Bling, Money Mindset Maker. We do need to start thinking about money in a different way. Are there any age limits for the retirement visas? Yeah, I want to say one or two of them said 50 years old or older, but that's Googleable somewhere everywhere. For Portugal, no. Definitely not. It just has to be passive income. So,
Costa Rica.
yeah, she's just girl, please. True. Yep. U.S. passport is like gold in the roll. For right now, it is. It is. I heard the Costa Rica for digital nomads, but not for retirement. Please repeat unless you said it. LOL. So yeah, we did not have Costa Rica on the digital nomad list. Oh yeah, we did.
No, we did.
Yeah, we did. So 2,500 for digital nomad, and then 1,000 a month if you're a retiree. Digital nomad visa here is a higher financial requirement. It's really high to me compared to the retirement passive income visa. And so I want to say it's like $2,600. And then if you are a remote worker, a W-2 person, it's like $4,800. Yep. I totally stopped buying stuff so I could max out my 401k, IRA, and HSA. And she paid off her mortgage. Right. And so if you plan on staying in the United States, do not do that reverse mortgage thing.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. We did a video on that. And you probably do want to pay off your mortgage. If you're not staying, but you're going to keep the property, and here's another thing about paying off mortgages. One of the things that you might want to do, if you've got extra money, instead of making that extra payment towards your mortgage, put that money into a higher yield savings account, maybe treasury bonds or something like that, where your money is making money. Let's just say you owe $100,000, $200,000 on your mortgage. Let's say $100,000 still on your mortgage. You put that money into a high yield savings account, the extra money that you were going to use to pay off that mortgage. And then when it reaches the $100,000, pay it off. You might reach that faster than you would have giving the mortgage company your extra money. At least your money is making money. And so, that is what we suggest. Are you going to make a video on how or what is needed to get retirement visas in Mexico? We've done that, Shaquan. Yeah, we've done that. So it was done about a year ago, getting 2 visas at the same time because we got Mexico and Portugal at the same time. The thing about Mexico and retirement visas for Mexico, most of the consulates seem to do age discrimination, even if you have retired early and you've got passive income coming in. They seem to be discriminating against age. So they'll still give you the visa, but it'll be temporary, not permanent, which means then you have to renew it and pay them another 45, 65, whatever they charge for their application fee. You don't have to start from scratch, but the renewal fee, right? But yeah, we did do that video, so you need to go back and watch that. I don't think I put this up. Thank you, Natasha. Just wanted to say thank you for all the gems you are dropping, along with words of encouragement. Every time I tune in, I'm inspired. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. It's funny because we went out with some folks to the taco spot.
Yeah, we went to tacos.
We went to the taco spot on Thursday with 4 folks who were here on a scouting trip. We had a good old time. And for those of you who know Lisbon, we walked from Bica to Saldanha. The next day we had to stay off our feet. It was a long walk. It was a long walk. I know I got my steps in.
I didn't have my tennis shoes on either, so my feet were killing me
by
the time we got back home.
And what I found so hilarious is that there's a mom and son who are moving here, and then a husband and wife. And the mother said to me, I was hoping you'd be just like you are on she said on TV. Which is hilarious. And well, she might watch us on TV. I know some of our subscribers watch us on their big screen TV. We can tell all of that stuff. YouTube can tell that stuff. And then the husband said the same thing to us when we were saying goodbye.
Yeah.
I was hoping that you guys are the same. We just us.
We're us.
What you see is what you get, y'all. No, look, one of the reasons why I retired early and is because I did not want to have to put on the face to meet the faces that I meet anymore. I didn't want to have to watch what I say because it might affect my cost, my living, my money, or any of that nonsense. Or maybe this is somebody who can help me get the next job, so I better bite my tongue. No more. No more. I missed yesterday's meeting. Is it available for replay? Absolutely, Nina. Absolutely.
Professor.
What's the next money mindset? So it's open enrollment. And so yeah, it is self-guided and it's got videos, it's got workbooks, it's got extra credit reading. We are right now reading as a group Take Stock, the book Take Stock. And so we're discussing that in the monthly Q&A sessions, as well as taking questions, that you may have about specific things. So it is ongoing. Every second Saturday of the month, we have group coaching. And then again, we're reading the book Take Stock. If you have not read Take Stock, you should get it. Go to your library or order it. I think there is a link in the description below under what's on our bookshelf. Also, what about the meet and greet of your single OBU membership? Is that being folded into a general summer meetup? Yes. So we have partnered with Blackset Global, Krishan at Blackset Global, who we did the Move to Portugal Summit with. The meetup is June 17th and 18th, because it was 19th and 20th last year. So I think it's 17th and 18th. The Monday and Tuesday right before ORJ's meetups. And it's a 2-day affair. It is right now not kid friendly, especially not little kids. Teenagers, yes. Little kids, no. But we are thinking about adding a kid-friendly component. Right now, we are selling it at the same price that we were offering it last year before we have priced everything out. So, yes. And there were a lot of single folks at the meetup last year, y'all.
What did Myra say? She was thanking everybody. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for snapping me out of it. I'm in tears, overwhelmed with the encouragement from everyone and help.
You got this. You
got
this.
Yes,
and we're here to help you. We really are.
Yes. We have all made decisions and choices in our past that we regret. We have all made choices and decisions in our past that have led us to the life that we have today. I'm here to tell you that you can make choices and decisions today that will give you the future that you want. And it does not have to take a lifetime. Seriously, if we can do it, you can do it. Seriously, okay? Because Lord knows. Rick, please know if you cancel your Part B and have to sign up years later, you will be
You'll
assessed
be
a
assessed 10%. Yeah,
for every year you didn't have Medicare, and it's a lifetime penalty.
Right.
We have no plans on moving back to the United States. That is absolutely asinine. I could see if you canceled Part B and could not prove that you had extra insurance in that in-between time. Think about that, folks. They are making you keep insurance that you don't necessarily need. And then when you do need it, they're going to punish you for it. That's the United States. That's the United States. It's crazy. Thank you, Craig. Aruba and Bonaire. Okay, so those are the A and the B and the ABC islands, Curacao being the C. Membership in Beyond the Bling grandfathers one into the subscription platform. Yes, it will. If you buy Beyond the Bling now, you will be grandfathered in and won't have to go to subscription. Okay. But once we start it,
you get what you need.
The other thing that I want to say to Myra and to other folks is I want you to start envisioning the future that you want. For those who have been around for a long time, you've heard me say this. When we looked at our vision board that we did back in 2017, something like that, and we looked at it when we were getting rid of stuff from our house, packing up to move here, 90% of it had come true. We did another vision board in 2021, a digital vision board. By 2022, everything except for getting into shape. but the things that fell out of my control, right, that fell out of our control, had come true.
Mm-hmm.
We have the power to make things happen. We really, really do. Whether you want to look at it from a manifestation point of view, whether you want to look at it from a traditional Christian point of view, we have the power to make things happen. The word says that, manifestation says that, and I'm sure there's other religions that say the same thing. All right. So before we left, I had a index card on our mirror. I've said this plenty of times that said, I am so grateful and thankful that Rick and I are living abroad and are financially free.
Yes, you did.
And it stayed on, and I did not get rid of it until we were packing up to move here. I also had $1 million bill. Of course, it was fake because it's $1 million bill. I don't even know if those things really exist, but I had a $1 million bill on the the ceiling that I looked out every night, and I'm like, I don't know how we are going to become millionaires, but I'm going to make sure that I am emotionally ready when the opportunity arrives, and I'm not going to be afraid to take that opportunity.
Yeah, I don't think they print them anymore.
Can I enroll in an HSA if I'm enrolled in Medicare? I don't know. Once you enroll in Medicare Part A and or Part B, you can no longer set up or contribute to a tax dollar. That's what I would think. I have never worked. The last time I worked at a company that had an HSA, it was use it or lose it. And so I never invest. I didn't have the kind where you could put it in investments and things like that, which it must be newer. So, how do you do a vision board? There's lots of ways to do a vision board, but Cassandra, we're going to have another vision board party. Now I figured out how to do Zoom in Facebook. So if you are in the Fire Over 50 Facebook group, we are going to do a vision board party in December. Okay. And we'll show you how to do an electronic vision board using free tools that are online. So
Mhm.
my screen and my wallpaper on my computer have our vision board, and I look at it every day. Rick, you and Cortez Ross got my husband more excited than I am about leaving here. More excited than you, Tanya. Wow, it was
Wow.
so hard to convince him on my own. All right, tell him the story of the couple that we met on Friday.
Oh,
What did the wife say to you?
oh, she hugged me, or we hugged each other, and she was so happy because she said, "You made my dream come true." I've been trying to get my husband to come over here and check it out. And she said, but I just wanted him to meet you so he could see and that it's real. And I mean, we talked, we walked home with him, we did everything, and she said it just felt so good because he got to meet you. So now he knows. And
And then
I,
he said, "Yeah, I was hoping that you'd be like you are on the YouTubes
they were
and
fantastic.
not
We loved it.
affected."
We loved them. We loved them to death.
Yeah. We had a good time. We spent about 4 hours with them, actually. Um, okay. Do you have another mindset video you like? The one in Beyond the Bling has been changed to private. Really? Okay, that's good to know. That is okay. That is not good. So I'm going to give you the 411 on the manifestation video that was in Beyond the Bling. I will find another one. Um, Interesting. She has changed the vibe of her channel. So
Who's that?
um, Brown and Bendy. She doesn't even go by that anymore. And but the bottom line was, whatever you are hoping to happen, especially things that are out of your control, you need to picture receiving that phone call, receiving that notification that it has happened, and feel it. Feel how you would feel once you get that information. And that's what I was doing every single day to make sure that my dad got into a good place that we could afford for
Mhm.
his board and care, as well as for the visa. And
Well,
now,
and the secret was good too.
yeah, the secret is good. But this was a short video. The secret.
Yeah,
So
it's
if you,
more like a program.
yeah, the secret is like a documentary or whatever that's usually streaming on Netflix. And it talks all about manifestation. I always suggest that to people who have some kind of illness that could be terminal, because I do think that we have the power to heal ourselves. In regards to Social Security, do you have to maintain a USA bank account for funds to be deposited, or is it best to keep withdrawing from USA and or transfer funds to a new country? We always suggest that you keep a bank account in the
In the
United
United
States.
States.
Um, they will deposit it into a foreign bank. However, we got this comment from, or email, I can't remember which, from somebody who decided that Russia would be a good place to retire, and then Russia went crazy, right? And then Putin started doing what Putin does, and apparently they stopped depositing his check in that Russian bank, and now
Yeah,
he's stuck.
yeah. The U.S. like nope.
And now he's stuck. All right. That's only 2 hours and 22 minutes. Now, I got a comment from a subscriber who said,
Greta knows who she is
Dominique
now.
Davis. Yes, that's right. I got a comment saying, y'all need to do shorter videos.
You got that again?
Mm-hmm. We do. So on every other Thursday, we do Thursday shorts where we will answer one question that you have had. So we say no questions from the audience, all answers. So if you have a question that you would like for us to address in a Thursday short, send it to us. Hello at ourblackutopia.com. I usually have a link also in the newsletter that I send out about, it's supposed to be every week, but sometimes it's every other week. But maybe I haven't put that in there lately. So I will add that back. But yes, so every other Thursday we do shorter videos. Picky Girl mentioned doing ATM withdrawals to pay her rent instead of wire transfers. What's it you? Well, it depends on what country, Cassandra. So Adelia lives in Mexico, and a lot of Mexican landlords want you to basically pay in cash, right? Our landlord, actually, we pay him cash in that we do a bank-to-bank transfer, but we have a Portuguese bank. I would not feel comfortable having a Mexican bank necessarily. So if I were in a country where the conversion was going up and down, and especially not in our favor, I would move and that had a banking system that I trusted. I would wire big chunks of money into the local bank, because at that point you have cut out the fact that the currency is fluctuating. Okay. And so when people like Rashida say, my rent was $1,000 a month and now it's $1,500 a month, it's because the peso has gotten stronger in relationship to the dollar, right? But had she moved let's just say $10,000 into a Mexican bank when it was 20 pesos to the dollar, then she wouldn't feel that as much. So I think it just depends on where you live, if you have confidence in that banking system. Now, it costs money to do a wire transfer. If you bank at Schwab and Fidelity and maybe some other banks, you can do ATM withdrawals in the current currency without getting ATM fees or conversion fees and all of that stuff. And our banks usually give a better conversion rate than whatever Google is talking about at the time. It's usually 2 to 3% less than what Google is talking about. So I think it just depends. Okay, so now I was about to go. Y'all asking more questions. Okay, I saw one more question.
When somebody's asking, does a book or does a movie, The Secret, have a book?
I don't know.
I think there is a book.
Is a book?
I think so. And there's also an app.
Okay.
That you could put on your phone, and it gives you like daily things or
words of encouragement and things and tips and tricks. Yeah.
I think I still have it on my phone.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea. All right, y'all. So today we talked about how you can get out of the United States before the next inauguration. If you need to still work and you want to get a digital nomad visa, the countries that we suggest that are easy yet still have a low threshold, a financial threshold, are Germany, Curacao, Costa Rica, Mexico, Cape Verde in Africa, Georgia, and Brazil. And I keep saying in Africa because a lot of people have never heard of Cape Verde. Retirement visas: Panama, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Thailand, Portugal, and Bulgaria. Get your passport today. Do not wait. Yes, The Secret has an app.
Secret has an camera. They have an app too for your phone.
Yeah. So there you go. There you go. But I would definitely, and thank you. I can't remember who told us about the manifestation video. I will get that replaced ASAP. And if you want to come to our meetup in June, let that be. June is fun, y'all. If you can come for our meetup, you should try to come at least by the first week in June, and then just stay for the month. Just stay. Tell your boss, whomever, look, I'm gonna be working from Portugal for a little bit of the time because June is off the chain here in Portugal. It is back to back to back street parties in June. And then on top of that, and then May has a lot of wine tasting and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
And free concerts in the park and all of that stuff. If you have more questions, we do take one-on-one consultation calls. Information for that is in the description below. You can still buy the replays of the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit. All access will get you access for a whole year, or you can buy access just for the month, but you will not get the bonus sessions. Join our Facebook group, and we will see you next week, y'all.
And we'll be here as long as you guys want us to. We won't change the time, like you said, because everybody's saying keep it like it is. Look, we like being here with you guys. We enjoy it a lot. So.
Y'all know me. And you know what Stephanie Perry would say. She would have just said, no. No. We are building community here, and we have fun chatting with y'all. And so we will take as much time as we need to discuss what we want to discuss and to answer your questions. And then we'll save Thursdays for the short subjects. And with that,
And I'm sorry. I just
okay.
acting like I'm.
We love you guys.
We love you very much.
See you next week.